Rich isn't ready yet.
Let's go.
Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Would you please turn off electronic equipment as we stand again for the flag salute? Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
We have before us for approval the minutes of our December 5th meetings. What is your pleasure?
I will make the motion to accept those minutes, Mayor.
I think I will second that motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
We'll now open for public comment. You have 3 minutes. You may discuss any subject. Is there any public comment?
Easy, Mayor, easy, easy. Don't jump the gun.
Didn't pull the trigger fast enough, did I?
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, being acutely, chronically, and cognitively impaired, you have a legitimate excuse for a total reality disconnect. However, your two co-conspirators, the youngins, can't yet play the dementia card. You three banditos spread more manure than the Amish do on their cornfields. Manure is a kind euphemism for the wholesale lying deployed by this commission to flim-flam, scam, con, and fleece the voters with your totally bogus claims, i.e., quote, making sure government works effectively and efficiently, have demonstrated fiscal restraint and responsibility with your tax dollars, have an established record of fiscal responsibility, end of quote. Nothing could be further from the truth. The mayor is free to remain in idle denial, but the official State Department of Education document condemns Margate schools for failing to meet all 7 indices of efficiency. This commission has refused to lift a finger to address this horrendous fiscal fiasco. $13 million are squandered every year on an ever-dwindling number of students. Margate senior citizen property taxpayers are paying 3 times the national average cost per pupil per year. You could send 2 students to Rutgers University for advanced learning for what taxpayers must shell out for student performances that are really putrid. 50% of the students in 8th grade basic math could not meet minimum math expectations. It cost over $250,000 per pupil to go from K to 8, and we get deplorable results, especially for at-risk students. Giovanni knows full well that our Goomba Paisano, Albie, has put forth a super attractive offer on the table, able to save Margate taxpayers millions of dollars each and every year while meeting the mayor's nepotism concerns. Normally, this commission's dragging its feet would not be overly disconcerting, but as fate would have it, we're on the cusp of completely losing control of both our school board and 2 schools. Margate will be barred from ever closing its second superfluous redundant school. Either school's sale represent tens of millions of dollars to retire school bonds and lower property taxes and enable seniors to remain in their homes. The 2020 U.S. Census will readily bear this out, with a year-round population plummeting to less than a third. Mayor, you 3 banditos.
Sweet sound of the day. Thank you,
Sweet sound of the
John.
day. And for the rest of us, it's Festivus.
Merry Christmas, John.
And a happy Hanukkah to you.
Any other public comment?
Art Cortilli, 114 North Lancaster Avenue. You've heard me mention many times about, John had mentioned just before he left, about the 7 indices. And initially I was told that don't exist and there's no such items. And I finally got tired hearing it, so I went and made a copy of the New Jersey 7 items, and I passed it out to everyone. That's been a while. And now similar things happening. I'm talking about class sizes of 18 to 22 as the ideal class size that J.B. Celeste, a previous school board person, and that he came up with this class size, and it seems that we're now lowering the bar, and I was told that there really is no such thing. He made that up. It's a bunch of baloney. And sure enough, as fate would have it, yesterday I was in CVS in Ventnor, and who's there but J.B. Celeste? And I mentioned it to him, and he said, Art, would I do anything like that? Would I make this thing up? He says, that's a Florida statute. He says, it's 18 to 22 for a reason. The reason behind it is that as you get down lower in the class size, see, when you have a larger class size, you have cliques, but there's enough others that the clique doesn't have an effect. But when you're down to a smaller class size than 18, the clique is really, really dominant, and this puts pressure on the few that aren't, and you'll end up with a lot of bullying and the rest of it to adhere to what the clique wants to do. And he says, he says, this might surprise you, but I had nothing to do with it. But you know who helped Florida write that? It was your previous superintendent, Dr. DeFranco. So this is not a hearsay or something pulled out of the wind. This is something that happened. Let's not keep lowering our bar from 18 to 22 as he had in place. It's now down to class sizes of 12 or whatever. I would check those classes and see if there really is bullying going on and try to make sure that it don't happen. But we're going to run into more of this as we go on in the next few years. We're going to continue dropping. And I hope that 300 bottom limit before we close a school is not again lowered to something even less. Let's keep that in our minds, that it was agreed that 300 was the bottom, and we're going to reach that in a few years. So the planning should be done now. Let's try to get that plan done and start moving.
Thank you, Art. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
We will now open public comment on resolutions and ordinances that are being adopted tonight. Is there any comment? Does everyone have an agenda? Any comment on that? Is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second?
Mayor Becker?
Yes?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Johanna, please.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 12, 2019, an ordinance amending Chapter 175, Land Use, Article 1, Definitions?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 13, 2019, an ordinance amending Chapter 175, Land Use, Schedule B-1, City of Margate Schedule of Standards, Residential Standards, Chapter 175, Attachment 4.1.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 14-2019, an ordinance amending Chapter 175 Land Use, Article 5 Zoning, Supplementary Regulation?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg? May I have a motion for the adoption of ordinance number 11, 2019, an ordinance amending Chapter 175, or 257, Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the City of Margate City, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey?
Make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 171, 2019, authorizing payments of claims?
So moved.
Second?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution 272, 2019, authorizing cancellation of various improvements.
Make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 273, 2019, authorizing Chief Financial Officer to cancel grant appropriation?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 274, 2019, authorizing a transfer of budget appropriations?
Make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the consent agenda, which is resolution number 275-2019 through 283, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Thank you, Johanna. There being no other business, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Thank you all for being here.